Hello, welcome back to Tarot by Andy. Thank you for being here. This is my vibrational reading. Please do your own research for entertainment purposes. I'd like to do a spread on the wax figures being moved. They are no longer in the royal section and they are now in the party section with all the celebrities. When I privately did a spread, I got that Harry was not concerned. He's in deep with her. He is trauma bonded. He is codependent. He is borderline. He is a covert narcissist, and they have some alignments of what they're doing. The drip feeding she has done on him through the years is paying off because he is now saying exactly what she wants him to say, the way he was programmed and brainwashed to say, to make him feel that everything was more severe, worse than what it was, amplifying any insecurities, highlighting it, and getting him to finally speak out. That's what's been happening. Trust me, it's all part of the manipulation. This is not completely coming 100% from him. Yes, he had some secret desires, but she really brought it to the forefront. So you guys have to be aware of that when you think of him making all these moves. A lot of it is the drip feeding. It's a marketing campaign against him, basically. Professionals use that little drip, 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 drip daily. Eventually, you believe everything you're being told. That it's a good product, that you need it, you have to have it in your life. That's basically what she did for him. He needed her in he needed her in his life in order to succeed. He needed her in life in order to not feel so jealous and envious of his brother. Everything is drip feed, drip, 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 drip. So make sure you keep that in mind. So don't buy into all the Kool-Aid, okay? Here we go. Let's get some under the roses on how does Harry feel about being removed from the wax figure royal section and put into the party section. Here we go. And now they're calling him number 6. I like the nickname. It's on Twitter. They're calling him number 6. So how does number 6 feel about it? How does number 6 feel about being moved? Here we go. For starters, we have the mountain. So he's not happy. The mountain is an obstacle. So he views it as an obstacle. It's an obstacle for the child. Wow. It's an obstacle for for Archie, really, he feels. Like maybe he won't be accepted back into the fold. And that I do get. He's got to accept the fact, and it's eating at him. Yeah, it's only eating at him because it's going to affect his children, that he says is going to be his children. Under the surface, we have here the burden, pain, and suffering card. So it's the burden, pain, and suffering. And then we have here in the center of it, we have here, and it's because of, this is a marriage alliance too, because of his choice of a partner, his choice of who he made who he made Archie with, okay. And so yeah, eating at him because it's making him appear less royal, and making him look less royal, meaning it would look bad upon him making more money and being viewed as an intentional speaker. He really wants to be viewed as the King of Swords, a very intentional speaker, but no one's buying into it. Everyone's kind of laughs at him, jokes fun, makes fun of the way he just kind of just goes through the same speeches over and over and over, and he just changes a few key words to fit whatever the audience is, where he's at, to make it fit. And so they don't view him as an intentional leader now, an intentional speaker, the King of Swords. He's viewed more of a King of Swords in reverse, is what I've gotten privately. But Marital, trauma bond girl, she is telling him, you can be that intentional speaker. People will respect you eventually. So to keep at it, keep plugging away. So that's part of the drip feeding, getting him to speak out against his family. All of it's aiming to making him a very believable, empathetic, sensitive, injured man that everyone will want to love bomb him, have the whole society go, oh, poor Harry, and then fill him with love and then abundance and then circle around him and support him. She's using him as a vehicle for herself, basically, and for the child, for any children that come into the picture. So it is, so it is a burden. He realizes this is a burden. This is an obstacle because it's going to affect their money. It's going to affect his speaking engagements, how much he can get, because now he is being shifted out of the royals. So it's not going to bode well as terms of how much he can demand financially. So let's get some more cards on it. Let's get some more cards on the two of them together. How do the two of them together feel about the shift with the wax figures? How do they feel about the shift with the wax figures together jointly? So they feel that the circle of support right there, they want the circle of support. They're aiming for circle of support. It's been happening very slowly, and they are trying to maintain strength, and they're trying to appear as though they are, insightful, going inward. The Hermit also goes into isolation, hides out. So they are in kind of hiding out mode right now together. Because they're in kind of makeup mode from her going to the hotel, making him pay the price for something he said or did. So they're right now sort of in isolation mode. And that's total like going inward, discussing, trying to light the path of where they're going to go, because everything's happening slowly. As far as getting support has been painfully turtle slow, very slow support. And they want to remain strong. We got the Strength card there. They just want to appear strong the whole way. Even though they don't have the support, they're going to try and appear they do. It's all fake. And they're also going to try and make everyone think that they're lovers still. That's very important to the game. Very important to the public persona and the maintenance of the mask, maintenance of everything that they're trying to aim. If they don't appear as though they're a upright lovers union here, they've got nothing. They're dust. So they know that is like totally important. They've got to look like they're a loving couple when they're not at all. Then we got the next card here, and we have here, and we've got the Ace of Cups in reverse. So that's not a new emotional beginning. So they feel that this is not a good emotional beginning, having our wax figures move. This is not good news for us. It's very bad news for us because it's going to block a lot of emotional beginnings. Having people be emotional over them and say, here's a job for you. Here's a speech for you. So they're losing love. They're losing love of the audience, really, because people aren't going to be loving them as much. So they see that the love is going to be lost. And the giving and receiving, the giving help, giving and receiving help from corporations, from people saying, here, we need you to give this speech. We're going to give you $500,000 to do it. So it's going to start shutting doors down. It's like the beginning of starting to shut the doors down, is how I feel. And then we have here, and it's not a total rock bottom for him. It is an ending. It's a finish line. It's a total finish line of communication. It does shut down the communication and their opportunities. And it's going to end up being a finish line. And so they're afraid of that finish line. They're not going to allow a finish line. They're fighting it, is what it is. Because if it was a total finish line, we'd be here. But they're fighting it. They know they're at high risk of a finish line. That this threatens the bottom line. It threatens the bottom line of them. It threatens the bottom line of going on speeches and having everybody wanting them. So it really is a huge threat. So it's a huge threat. And in the center of it, what do I have here? It's a huge threat to the image that they're trying to project. Once again, it's another ending. But we've got the happy ending here. Consciously, they want this. This is what they want consciously. Subconsciously, they know they're literally just steps away from this. But they're trying to mask and hide it and veil it from the public. But they want everyone consciously, hey, this is who we are. This is who we are, but really they're not. And they want everyone to appear, oh, we're super strong. We go inward. We are deep thinkers. We think about things. So it's just not, the support isn't there. But they certainly want to appear it. So, so it's affecting them. It's affecting them. They know it's the bottom dollar. Lack of popularity. It's a slow death. A slow War of the Roses death. I like to call it the War of the Roses. That's kind of what it is. Here we go. Let's get some Did they have a massive fight about it? Tell me about their fights. Any recent fights and arguments? Any recent fights and arguments? What are they arguing about? 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 They're arguing about sex. Three of Roses. They're arguing about sex and creation. Yeah, creating probably, yeah. Maybe it's because they're off doing other people. I will keep pulling. And we have here, yeah, the King of Hearts. Oh, it's looking like Harry wants some. I'm sorry. It's a little funny. Yeah, you should see me privately when I do these. I do get a good chuckle a lot of times. And it's a karmic shift. Wow. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. So there's a karmic shift and Harry's sexual desire for her, it's looking like. Huh. Okay. I'm going to go under the surface. We have here karmic relationship in reverse. So that's what it is. He does not want to have, he's living in the past, he's unrealistic, and he knows a relationship's going to take a nosedive. Karmic relationship in reverse. Yeah, wow. Living in the past, he's thinking about how hot it was in the beginning. The first love bombing phases is what he's thinking about. Oh yeah, there we go. Emotional bond in reverse. So yeah, he doesn't even want her. He doesn't want to touch her. He doesn't even want to touch her. We're not touching each other. So they're having fights over probably having sex with other people. Sexual fluidity. They're both very sexual fluidity. I don't know if you're aware of this, but many narcissists, as H.G. Tudor, Knowing the Narcissist, says that on that channel, he says with the narcissist, okay, it's kind of a sick thing to say, but I'm just going to say it, quote unquote, this is his words, not mine, that any hole will do. Sexual fluidity for a male typically is done because it garners them more fuel. They like to deny that there is homosexuality there. There is no, he says, according to H.G. Tudor, he says that they actually don't have a sexual preference because they leave it open because that's just more supply sources. It's more opportunities, and they don't want to not have those opportunities. So that's why there's the sexual fluidity. So they're arguing about sex because he does, at this point, he doesn't want to be touched. So I'm saying their sexual fluidity is on fire, and they are very open in an open marriage, and they're both doing their own thing. They're not in a, they're not in a, it's just the two of us. There's no monogamy here, none whatsoever. No monogamy. Not happening. Not with this pair. And it hasn't been that way for a very long time. In fact, it's been that way. It's been this way since they were even engaged dating. They've always been sexually fluid, going to Soho House with Marcus Anderson, getting busted with Harry on the bed in Soho House, getting a bucket of ice allegedly poured on Harry. That leaked out with that woman sitting in a chair in the corner of the room while she was watching. That is what leaked out from an employee at the Soho House, and this was over a year ago. So just to tell you, if you don't know that story, you now know. And the sexual fluidity of her hooking up with the tennis star's husband, the billionaire guy. So yeah, very sexual fluid. Nothing's loyal between these two. They're not loyal to themselves. They're not loyal to each other. They're not loyal to anything. It's just a lifestyle, you guys. Okay, here we go. I'm going to calculate these. Let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15 comes to 4 of clubs, 4-leaf clover. Getting lucky. 4-leaf clover, getting lucky. So yeah, getting lucky. So they're arguing over who's doing who with whom and how much time they're doing it, and you're spending too much time with that person. You don't come home enough. You're spending too many nights in a row over there. That's what's happening. They're arguing. And it's Harry complaining more. Harry's complaining a little bit more because I got the King of Hearts. I would say Harry's the one getting kind of emotional over the situation. And then this here, 8, comes to 2 of spades, broken chalice, and it's breaking their marriage. Typically with these unions, with open marriages, they do not last. They usually always break apart. Very, very few actually can stick it through with an open marriage, swingers, you know, whatever you want to call it. People in Orange County dress in white and go to all white parties, and they look classy and elegant, but really it's an open, out in the open swinger party where people are very sexual fluidity is on fire. So yeah, I had to throw that in there. Sorry, a little shade on Orange County. Yeah, it's a kind of an open secret there. A lot of outsiders don't know. So yes, it's affecting their marriage. It's affecting their marriage. Yeah. Yep, and it's not going to work out. So, you know, it is what it is. So how do they feel about how does a firm, how does a family feel? How does a family feel about these two being moved? How does the Queen feel? How does Queen and Charles and William and Kate and Anne, how do they all feel? How do they feel? How do they feel? Here we go. About that being moved. Well, we have here, it was not a butterfly moment, so it was not spontaneous. It was something that they held back and they thought about it. They probably ordered it and requested it, or at least they approved it. And magi, they manifested it. They manifested that whole situation. That's how they think about it. Wow. Under the surface. We got here and they were fence sitting for a long time. Subconsciously, you know, they just fought it. They fought it. They sat on it for quite a long time. It's what they do. Give them enough rope, they hang themselves, right? So here we go in the center of the situation we have here. And yeah, they were rivalry in sport. Because of rivalry in sport with them, because they're very competitive and they want harmony. But instead they're getting conflicts. They're getting tons of conflicts with them, and that's why they did it. And they manifested it, they held back, they thought about it, they sat on it for quite a while before they finally pulled the plug and did it. That sounds very typical, doesn't it? Yeah, very. So there's no value to the joker, so I'm just going to stick with this here. I can only calculate these two. That comes to 10. 10 comes to 3 of diamonds, Trinity, working together. So they worked together with the museum to make it happen. Yes. Now if I calculate these 3, let's see, that comes to 13. Kind of comes to 23. 6 of clubs, olive tree. Olive tree, 23, comes to 6 of clubs, which is called and nicknamed the olive tree. So they took him out of the family. Took him out of the family tree in the royals within that mold, that wax figure section of the royals. So yeah, they took him out of the family tree. So maybe that's kind of like a very good indicator of what's to come, you guys. In my opinion, I think it is. It's in the works. It's a very slow pulling of the threads. Yeah, okay, we're going to pull this one, pull that one, pull that one, pull that one. It's in the process. It's going to happen because they made this happen. They helped this along is what they did. They encouraged it. They approved it. Yes, we want that. Okay, Queen Elizabeth, you got it. Okay, Charles, you got it. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, like and subscribe. Bye.